Hi guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Plum production. And in this video we're going to be talking about a certain event that happens next month, always happens next month, and is an event that a bunch of YouTubers always do a big thing about. They lead into it, they lead up to it, and then do a big thing on the actual day. And that is of course the 31st of October, otherwise known as Halloween. And as you can probably tell by what's on my shelf here, I have some things to talk about, and what I want to do in this video is delve into my own personal journey into the horror franchise, and this kind of represents some of my horror collection, not all of my horror collection, because I couldn't get everything in shot on this shelf, so some of it is elsewhere, like my Scream set is downstairs, which is a very prominent part of my own horror collection. And one of the reasons why I'm going to be showing off all of these different bits and bobs is I'm going to be doing my own lead into Halloween, coming up to Halloween itself. And what I'm going to be doing essentially is reviewing a bunch of these films, talking about a bunch of these box sets, and I'm just going to talk about what you have upcoming when it comes to some of these sets, and me talking about them, going to depth and talking about some of the movies contained within. So buckle up, get yourself a drink, and we'll go through this. If I can remember some of the other sets I've got laying around the house that aren't on this this shelving unit right now, I will talk about those as best possible. So let's just delve in, and I think the best place to delve in straight away actually will be the Friday the 13th Scream Factory Blu-ray box set. And the reason why that's a good place to jump straight in is there will be a revisited on that. I don't know if I'm going to do it on October the 31st, but I did buy that in October. So in October at some point I'll be doing a revisited on that, and I'll be delving into a bit more detail about that set, what I've personally of course done with that set, and just talking about it. I am currently watching through, anybody knows the Dead Meat YouTube channel, they're currently doing a recount on the Friday the 13th series, and this Friday is their recount of Friday the 13th The New Blood, which is actually the next film that I need to watch. So that's some encouragement to watch the next Friday the 13th film that I need to watch, and then I'll review that when I watch that. I am actually looking forward to watching both The New Blood, because of course if anybody knows about The New Blood, it was supposed to be Jason versus excuse me, supposed to be Jason versus Carrie, but they couldn't get the rights to that, so it became a generic telekinetic teenager versus Jason Voorhees. But also I'm looking forward to seeing Kane Hodder in his first appearance as Jason, and I'm looking forward to getting to Jason Takes Manhattan, which Friday the 13th Part 9. And the reason for that, Part 9, Part 8, Part 9 is Jason Goes to Hell. And part of the reason for that is a lot of people like Jason Takes Manhattan, and I like to see the ones that people are really fond of. Me personally, I really like Chapter 4, the final chapter. Chapter 6, Jason Lives, but then everyone seems to like Jason Lives. And a lot of people seem to like Jason Takes Manhattan, so with Jason Lives, so that's probably why it turned out the way it did. But yes, I'll be doing, as you can probably tell, quite a few videos based upon that, and over the next coming weeks I'll work my way through the films and those reviews will pop up. I am considering at some point using this set as a basis to re-review those films. I have those reviews on my channel, and actually in some ways me reviewing the Friday the 13th films is my journey more into the horror franchise, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And this actually leads quite nicely onto Alien, which is tucked just behind there. Oh, I do have my Scream set. I thought my Scream set was downstairs. This moves us quite nicely onto Alien, and there's the US copy there, and there's my DVD set there. And we're going to talk about why all three of those are significant. And we'll start with the DVD set. So I'll put that there. You can just about see it. So the DVD set, actually I'll put it in front of Alfred Hitchcock for now. There we go. So the reason why the DVD is so crucial to my collection and my journey into horror in general is I actually bought this when I was 17. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I always wanted to watch Alien. A bunch of people have told me many times, I really like Alien, I should watch Alien, that sort of whole thing. And I really did want to watch Alien. But a little bit of a context of me growing up, I was brought up to respect the certification. And of course it's an 18. And the thing about 18s in the UK is it always red 18 and got like a red background, like they're bloody or something. And I do have a 15 rated thing here. This is a 15. So 15 look has like a white background with the 15 in it. So my overactive imagination is thinking, oh, 18s must be really bloody and gory and all that kind of stuff. And I had an overactive imagination, still do have an overactive imagination. So me thinking about the 18 was like daunting in some ways. However, I had some birthday money, I do believe, and I took the punt. It cost me £20 to buy that in Ross Records. That's not actually the exact one I bought in Ross Records, because years later I sold the one I originally bought from Ross Records. Ross Records is a media store that was near me. Unfortunately, it's now gone the way of the dodo. That's what I was looking for. It's extinct no longer because it didn't survive COVID, basically, unfortunately, which I'm actually really quite sad about, because I have really fond memories of Ross Records and going down there when I was much younger with my dad. But that's beside the point. I sold that years and years ago with a majority of my collection because my computer wasn't behaving itself. And I actually got a really nice amount of money for it, considering it's a DVD set. I believe that the Alien Anthology set was out by then, and it still got a decent price for the DVD set, so I was kind of forced to sell it. But I ended up rebuying this from CX, and actually looking at it, parts of me think this might be my original version, but actually it might be my original version looking at it, because there's a crease right there on the outer case. And the reason why I think it's my original copy is because our cat at the time, Floss, when I first watched this film, came and joined me, and the slip cover was just on there on the bed, and Floss stepped on that very edge, crushing it. So bless her. Bless her indeed. Anyway, so I took a punt, bought it, took it home, and actually I also bought Predator a day later at the H&V around the corner. They actually ID'd me, by the way. Ross Records didn't ID me at the time. I was 17, about to turn 18, so... Or was I just 17? I can't remember. I know I was 17. It took me 2 years to finally watch the film. Excuse me. It took me 2 years to finally get the courage up to watch the film. You have to understand the mindset I was in at the time. To me, you know, horror was scary, it was bloody, it was gory, all these different things, which it is, but not to the extreme that my brain was thinking that it was. And of course, I now know, knowing more about the film industry and stuff like that, that you have the MPAA, you have the BBFC that kind of censor certain things in films, only let certain things into the film, so it can't be completely gory and all that kind of stuff, because the MPAA and the BBFC wouldn't allow that to happen, essentially. But at the time, I was scared. I'm going to be honest, I was apprehensive about watching it. And then finally, I took the punt, watched it, and it's now one of my favourite films. If you didn't know, it's by far one of my favourite films, and I think I've watched it 20, 30 times plus. I don't know how many times I've watched Alien now. It's one of those films I can just put on and watch. It's such an easy watch for me, such a fantastic film. So, when the Blu-ray set was announced, and this actually wasn't the original Blu-ray set I had the egg, the egg set that came out at the same time. But again, I sold that during the purge, as I call it, to help me repair my computer. So the Blu-ray set came out, and this got a lot of traction and hoo-ha and all those different things. So the Blu-ray set not only contains everything that you get in this set, and this is a 9-disc DVD set. Each DVD comes with its own special feature disc, and then there's like a global special features disc at the back. This is a packed set. Not only does this contain everything that was included in that set back when it was released, it contains everything from the Laserdisc releases, sorry. Contains everything from previous releases and just slams it into one big massive set. And yeah, I've owned the Alien Anthology, how many times now? 4 times, because I owned the original egg version. Then when I sold that, I rebought it. So I rebought the Alien Anthology, but with the Blu-ray cases. When I sold that version, I wanted to get the Digipack version, because I prefer Digipacks, to be completely honest. And then the end of last year, I decided to go for a little bit of a punt and get the US version, which I always wanted ever since it came out. Way back when, I'm trying to think of the year when this came out. But when it came out, I really wanted the US version, because it's this really nice digibook that's just beautiful in so many ways, and I love this style of packaging. Many people don't, but I quite like them. So put that back up there. So I punted again and went for the packaging that I really do enjoy. And to be completely honest, that packaging is a bit better than that packaging when it comes to taking the discs in and out, to be completely honest. Plus the disc content is completely the same. They're the same discs in terms of the data stored on there. Visually, the discs look a bit different, as in what's printed on the discs, but what's on the disc as in data, completely the same, and they're both region free, so they work on any Blu-ray player. And when I watched Alien on Blu-ray for the first time, it was like watching a new film, which I never understood. I never understood when fans of a particular film watch it in a new format and go, bloody hell, whew, I'm even more in love with the film now. I never understood that. I don't understand obsessive fans about anything, to be completely honest. However, when I watched Alien on Blu-ray for the first time, it was like watching the film for the first time again. And I understood a little bit about what people mean when they're like, the film was now brand new to me again. Because it's such a good looking Blu-ray. It looked brand new. It looks like it could have been shot yesterday. Still to this day, I watch it on Blu-ray go, flipping hell, that looks like a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece anyway, but it looks even better on Blu-ray. So, yeah. Why am I showing it off in this particular video? Because it tracks my journey into the horror genre. So if we're gonna go, what kind of order can we go into to now when it comes to my journey into horror? So I think the House of Hitchcock. So I bought this set a couple of years ago. I used to have and of course this is in the video because of Psycho, because of Birds, mainly because of Psycho, because that very much is, in my opinion, a horror film. It started a whole horror genre, i.e. the slasher genre. So Psycho very much deserves to be in a video talking about horror, in my opinion. Some people class it as a thriller, some people class it as a suspense film, and you are completely within your right to class it as those, and I do as well. But I think, you know, the fact that it spawned a whole genre, subgenre within horror, I think it deserves its own spot. So I used to own the Filmmaker collection. Then I sold that around because of The Purge. The Purge! Got a really good penny for, actually. Got the same amount of money I bought it for in the first place. Anyway, because I bought it for like £65 from Zavvi because they were having a flash sale. They wanted to get it out of their warehouse, and it's worth £130 to £200. So when I sold it to CEX, they gave me pretty much £65 for it. So I couldn't really complain too much about that, to be completely honest. But I wanted to rebuy another Hitchcock collection, and I kept seeing this pop up in various places. And towards the end of the year, I had the money to punt for it. It cost me about £60, £70, I think it was. And it's a beautiful set with a lot, 18 of Hitchcock's films in there, including, of course, Psycho. I can't remember if I've done a review on Psycho or not, but watching Psycho, I can see why it's the progenitor of the slasher franchise. It's got amazing characters and performances in that film. Obviously, everyone knows the twist and what happened in that film. But I'm going to leave it vague in case there are some people watching this video that don't know about the twist and what happens in Psycho. But it is a first for a lot of things. And watching Psycho nowadays, having watched so many films that it spawned as a result of it inspired, sorry. It's you have to put your shoes and your perspective in when it was released in 1960. It was released in 1960, and the amount of sacrifices and effort that Hitchcock put into making that film come to light. He shot it in black and white because of budgeting constraints. He paid for it himself because Universal wouldn't foot the bill. And he used the TV camera crew from his show Alfred Hitchcock Presents to shoot the film because he was that passionate about the film. The censors didn't want it to go ahead because they felt that it would be too risque for the time. Just think what the horror genre would have been without Psycho. Fantastic film, and on repeat viewings it just keeps getting better and better. There are so many psychological aspects and different aspects you can delve into with that film, and yeah, and this set is a really nice set. So upon that, it's probably good that we move kind of directly into the Scream set. Again, throughout my life, so many people have said you would really like the Scream franchise. Mainly my mum was the main person who kept saying to me, when you get old enough, watch the Scream Trilogy. And again, much like Alien, I was apprehensive about watching the Scream Trilogy. And I bought this box set many years ago on a whim, on eBay, just bought it. And then it literally went to one side and started collecting dust, which is funny because it currently has dust in it right now. And again, it took me a while to finally get round to watching it. I can't remember the exact length of time. I want to say a year. And it's also funny because I had a friend at the time who kept badgering me to watch it. Kept saying, Gareth, watch it, watch it, watch it. And I'll be honest, him badgering me about watching it caused me to delay it even further. Until me and him no longer were friends, and then one day I just decided to randomly watch it. And within about 2 days, I'd binge watched the entire franchise, including the first season of the TV series off Netflix. So, yes, like a lot of people, it quickly became one of my favourite series of films within the horror genre. We owe a lot to Scream. It revitalised the horror genre in general. It bred new life into the horror franchise in general, and they're such good films. They really are such good films. The performances in this film are just phenomenal. They really are phenomenal. A particular actor who I'm not going to name because it would actually potentially spoil the end of the film is just such a good performance. And to learn that they ad-libbed part of it is just, it's phenomenal. And you know, they really are. I've now watched them 3 times all the way through, so fantastic films, and I should have watched them much earlier. We then move into, I'm trying to think which one I bought first, probably the Hellraiser set. So again, Hellraiser is actually a series that I've really wanted to get into, but it's known as one of the goriest films ever made, the first Hellraiser. And I wanted to get it to kind of, that leg's about to give way. There we go, that's better, sorry about that. So that the first film is known as the goriest film ever made, and I wanted to buy that set and watch Hellraiser to sort of tackle that fear of gore is scary, because I've always had that association. As I've gotten older, that association has lessened quite a bit, but I've always had that association. So buying what's known as a really gory film wants to get over that that hump, if you will. And I've decided to, but that cost me not a lot of money at all. And it's actually a limited edition 4-disc set of the first 3 films and a bonus disc. But anyway. And I have watched parts of Hellraiser, and it's really well done. I really like the stop motion animation when Frank, is it Frank? When Frank comes together for the first time. And I really like the themes delved into Hellraiser. It's actually a really good film, a really sinister, sadistic, you could say sexual film that delves into a lot of different parts of the human psyche, to be honest. And it's a lot darker of a film than some people. I know the premise of the film, but it's a little bit more psychological and philosophical than some people may say. It's actually, in my opinion, a really good film, and yeah, it surprises me every single time I watch a film that I'm apprehensive about watching. I actually really enjoy it, which is interesting. But yeah, I have the rest of them to watch at some point, plus watch the rest of the first film. But Hellraiser Hellraiser probably needs an introduction into horror, but you know. So what do I go for next? We're going to go for this. So this is the Alex Ross Universal Monsters 7-disc Steelbook Blu-ray collection. It contains 7 of the Universal Monsters films, from Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolfman, The Mummy, Invisible Man, Creature of the Black Lagoon. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there are 7 in there. Didn't feel like I said 7. Anyway, and this is the Blu-ray collection of the Universal Monsters that's had many different iterations. This has gone through like 3, 4 iterations that I know of, and I think there's even a 4K release of it out as well. But what this particular collection is, this is the Alex Ross collection. Alex Ross is a comic book artist, and for the 50th or 60th anniversary of the Universal Monsters films, he did a series of prints for each of the films, and those prints were very expensive and sold out very quickly. So he also did postcards of those same prints. Those were quite expensive and sold out very quickly. So him and Universal teamed up for, I would say, one last time, and did this particular set. So I'm gonna take out one of the steelbooks in this set and show you what it looks like. So each of these covers, this is the Creature of the Black Lagoon, and this is actually the steelbook that's damaged. I'll show you that in a minute. So that front, that cover, is drawn, you know, done by Alex Ross, and they are beautiful, beautiful covers. So this was a way of fans getting their hands on those prints in a different way, and of course having them on the movies, you can enjoy it much better. When this first came out, it was about £120. It quickly went down in price. The reason why, I think, is because people didn't really know what it is, and as I said, the Universal Monsters collection has gone through so many iterations of both DVD and Blu-ray, and now 4K, that I think a lot of people had it and didn't really want to punt £130. It then went down to 60. I got it for 50, plus I got a further £20 off of that because one of the steelbooks is broken. Unfortunately, well, not broken, damaged. It got damaged in transit. So, however, these films need no introduction. They are classics for a reason, and I've worked my way through some of them, and they're classics for a reason. I probably don't need to go more in depth into why that's in my collection and why I decided to go for that particular set. Fantastic. We're now going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street kind of briefly. I haven't watched any of these yet, and again, that may pop up in the next coming weeks. I may start my way through these films and start reviewing them. Nightmare on Elm Street is obviously mainly because of Freddy vs. Jason. I'll just start making my way through the Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, the funny thing about Nightmare on Elm Street is I would like to buy this on Blu-ray, to be completely honest, but the Blu-ray fluctuates wildly in price. Sometimes you can pop on eBay and buy it for a tenner. Sometimes it's 20 quid. I paid £3 for this, by the way, off of Amazon, of all places. You would think I'd say eBay. No, Amazon, of all places. And I think even I got some money off of that because of a voucher. Anyway, so yeah, £3 for the entirety, minus Freddy vs. Jason, of Nightmare on Elm Street on DVD. Can't really complain. This is actually a really nice set. Has a booklet and all sorts, and it's actually a nicer set than I gave it credit for, because I've seen this set all over the place on the shelves in stores, online, and always wants to take the punt. Again, I'm nervous about delving into Nightmare on Elm Street, but having watched some videos on it, I'll be doing it at some point. But this is kind of just to let you know, yes, I have it on DVD, and there'll probably be some reviews coming up of these films. So I know I'll probably be watching at least one of these films with somebody, so there'll probably be a review. And last but by no means least, unless I'm forgetting something, is the Dawn of the Dead Second Sight Films Blu-ray release. This set probably needs no introduction, nor does the film need much introduction. But what I'm going to say for sake of this video is I'm going to delve really deeply into the set, watch all the different cuts, listen to the soundtrack, and give my really in-depth impression on this set. I thought I'd stop recording them, or the camera would stop recording them. It is a phenomenal set. Comes with a really nice hardback book, comes with a novelisation of the film, and the book goes into great length about the impact of the film. There is a special features disc that also goes into the impact of the film. Everybody and their mother bought this set, and I'm going to be honest, I felt a bit left out. It went out of print very quickly, and then shot up in price. I remember it going for like £130, £150 at one point. But I'm not sure quite what happened, but all of a sudden, it went way down in price, and I bought this for about 50, 60 quid, which I was happy to pay that amount of money, since it RRP'd for about £70 or £80 when it first came out. I do have a bit of damage to it, but I got some money back for that damage, so I can't complain, and I have this really nice set in my collection. So yeah, that has been an overview of some of the horror pieces in my collection, and I will be, as this video kind of suggests, making my way through a lot of these as time goes on, and talking about them with you guys on videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this extended video, almost coming up to half an hour in length, and hopefully you'll join me on some of my reviews and discoveries of some of these films. Until next time guys, please take care, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.